Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the finest Dawn of War Soulstorm cast, this side of East Yorkshire. And today we've got a 1 vs 1 on Titan's Fall. Playing as the Eldar, we've got Vomito. With his opponent today, playing as the Orks, we've got Klein. Calvin's going to be opening up triple sluggers and a boys hut, whereas the Eldar is going to go for the standard, double guardians, fleet of foot research, plasma generator and a aspect portal. This round 2 electric boogaloo, I have tried to record this game before on Sunday, but thankfully my memory is not entirely all that cognizant and memorable, so it'll be brand new for me, I'm absolutely sure. Anyway, Orks vs Eldar, one of the standard OG factions playing up against each other. Standard openings for everyone at the moment as the Dark Reapers are coming out from the aspect portal. We do have a big mech on his way as well. Orcs not capturing their nearest and dearest, they are going for their fairest and farthest in the hopes that maybe they can prevent any Eldar shenanigans or witchcraftery. We've got the lovely bad banner flying for the Eldar here. I just love the regal crown on that. That might be the royalist inside me, or the royalist inside you. One day we'll get it back, don't you worry. The Empire will strike again. But yeah, Big Mech, he's going to be doing all sorts of jumpy nonsense over these little ridges, I assume. Which is one thing he can do. Although he is quite vulnerable to the Farseer, as she can give him the old Mind War, and she will be coming out to play. Also got her Psychic Storm for general area effect damage, as well as a guide to increase the damage of her fellow Guardians and Reapers, who will be no doubt firing their shurikens and whatnot at anyone else. Not seeing any shooters at the moment. Looks like these triple slugger boys are just going to go for as wide a spread as humanly possible, going for relic, strategic and critical location alike. Going to focus on the early game economy as the Eldar move out over onto this side, potentially maybe running into these Orks, as it looks like they're going to go over to say hello to this critical location. We are going to see the big mech who spots these Reapers. And it doesn't take long for the big mech to pummel down one of these models down to half health. Well, big mechs are stereotypically a close range hero. His pistol is nothing to be sniffed at. Mind War going to go straight down on the big mech, taking out fractions, not a strong point. I'd say about maybe 1/5 of health. If there's any people with a degree in applied mathematics can confirm or deny my fraction usage, please do tell me. Guardians being left to their own devices as the Orks and Slugger Boys are focusing on these Dark Reapers. Second guide squad going to move in. A guide has been put on the Guardians over, increasing their overall accuracy and whatnot. I do quite like that Vomito has remembered to use all 3 of the Farseer's ability. You normally only see her really do either the Mind War and the Psychic Storm or something else. People do tend to forget the use of that guide. So that's nice. You can see a second Dark Reaper squad coming out, and no shooter boys as of yet. In fact, we haven't even seen any war banners at the moment. So I imagine all these, so these listing posts are being upgraded to tier 2 en masse by the looks of things. And to be fair, if you've got mostly slugger boys and only like 1 Dark Reaper squad on the field, imagine even with 2 Dark Reaper squads, until they're fully upgraded with their Dark Reaper Exarch and a couple of extra lads, it'll take them a fair while to pummel their way through a listing post, especially when it's upgraded to tier 2. Farseer being left a little bit alone over trying to keep these guys away as they focus down 1 slugger boy squad. But I mean, her health regeneration rate is not amazing, so she will be quite vulnerable for quite some time. Then again, she's not normally in the front lines anyway, so that is a forgivable thing. Sacrificing long-term health for short-term gain. Sounds like working in a school to me. So seeing our first war banner going to go down, second war banner also. So that is a thing. Dark Reaper's having a look, but not deciding to go too close to that listing post. After all, I mean, these Dark Reapers, they cost, what, 70 blue money to reinforce, so every single dude that they lose at the moment, especially when the blue money is already quite low. They don't want to stint their economic growth as they upgrade their listing shrines over yonder. They're only just now capturing their relic. This listing post, or listing shrine, shall one say, up here, going to be pestered and harassed by the slugger boys. But these guys won't really cut through the armour all that much. It's just a back-of-the-mind nuisance for the Eldar. But now with 2 fully kitted up Dark Reapers, they will be able to pummel their way into the armour of the listing post. I was reading the Dark there. Shooter Boys finally on the field, teleporting straight in. Gonna focus fire onto these Dark Reapers, killing one model. Big Mech being taken down by some Mind Wars. And yeah, that's quite a big loss for the Orks, but they still have a relatively, well, I mean, from an Orc perspective, that is, I mean, it's on fire. It's meant to do that. So Listing Post is still kind of online. Shooter Boys now going to go for their big shooters. Once they get a couple of these guys online, the Dark Reapers will be feeling the punch. Oh dear, putting a guide on this Dark Reaper squad as they lose a couple of models, which drastically reduces the benefit of that guide. Although then again, Shooter Squad is going to go down. Grots as well. In fact, narrowly avoiding a squad wipe there. Got some Storm Boys, which is exactly what I want to see. Went up against a bunch of Dark Reapers. Might not be able to tie him down, but can at least keep him on the move. And Slugger Boys, actually, chilling out over here, almost taking down this Listing Shrine, but Double Burnsing is going to nurse this bad boy back to full health. Unless these Sluggers decide to turn their attention over and beat up these Burnsingers. Dark Reapers now looking to see if they can poke a prod into the base. Again, like I said, I don't think they'll be able to do all that much, especially when you've got some Storm Boys on the way. Big Mech also going to be replaced. 98 and 30 compared to 92 and 20. Orks would have probably had a fairly decent economic advantage until they lost that listing post. It annoys me how Eldar listing shrines are called listing shrines and these are called listing posts. It's confusing for my limited brain faculties. You can see a 4th plasma generator coming on, so I imagine that the Eldar are hungry to take up into tier 2 at some point. Storm Boy's got a couple of extra lads in there. Storm Boy Knob as well, going to fly straight into the mix. And I mean, let's get some cinematic nonsense as they zoom around with their upgraded jetpacks. Although going up against double listing shrines, this is not the entrance that they really want to mess with. If they come in through any other angle, whether they come in through this way or this way, they've only got to deal with one listing shrine at a time. But coming straight down the middle, having to deal with both of them is it's not the hypest of hype, I do have to say. And to be honest, on this map, the Eldar probably have a little bit of a defensive advantage, considering that this bottleneck is a little bit more narrow than this bottleneck from the Orc side. Although, in saying that, this listing shrine is going to be smacked down into the dirt. The Burn being torn asunder by Power Claw and Chopper alike. Listing post over here will be built back up, but then it looks like that the Eldar are going to go tit for tat and, well, just kill it, I guess. No fancy words needed. And with it only being tier 1, it's going to go down quick, sharpish, which not only will that reduce the Orcs' income, it will also waste that 100 blue money it takes to build up a listing post, which is a real shame. They decide not to defend it, but rather build up this strategic point, and again, get some revenge and take down this listing post as well. Tier 2 for the Eldar. Got a bit of a flirt going on, but they are going to pop down a support portal straight away, and a Harlequin as well, which will certainly reduce the combat effectiveness of the Storm Boys. Good flanking manoeuvre as the Shooter Boys go around the side of these Dark Reapers. Could have moved these Storm Boys over onto this side just to cut off their path of retreat. Another Mind War going down on this big mech. So wonderful use of Eldar micro going on here. While the Eldar pound for pound are usually really, I would want to say quite, I mean, some would say OP. I mean, the units are very strong. We've got to bear in mind that we've got to keep that micro constantly on point. And eventually, as longer the game goes on, the more fatigue that an Eldar player does feel. So, I mean, no one man can keep up Eldar micro all this time. Got Harlequin just absolutely mincing around with these Shooter Boys, not allowing them to use their big shooters to full effect. Storm Boys also keeping away from them, trying to get a good angle on these Dark Reapers. Knob getting an old backflip to the face. Psychic Storm going to go down on this guy, on this area as well, killing a couple of models. We get this Harlequin, bit of a glass cannon, going 1-to-1 against a big mech. It's not exactly what she wants to do. She wants to focus on the squishy units, trying to get a squad wipe on the Shooter Boy squad, but the big mech involved, you can't really pick your targets. Storm Boy squad though getting wiped out, and with a Falcon Grav Tank with a lovely, I mean, like I said, this is why I like the Regal Crown, because it just suits this colour scheme of grey and pink just pops off the colour scheme. Very nice. Yeah, shooter boys reinforcing themselves. Tank busters on the way. Pilot guns getting that more choppy reset, so implicating that there may be some close combat compositions on the way. Dark Reaper's not going to focus on this listing post as the Orks over here try and go for harassment to Electric Boogaloo, but with a support platform here and the tier 2 listing shrine, that's not going to be a happy day for them. Enhanced optics going to go on the Eldar side as well, so their Dark Reapers will be even more lethal for the time being. And it all goes relatively quiet. Both players just sizing up their opponents at the moment. Eldar, I mean... Yeah, okay, they're going to go for Wraith Lords. I mean, don't normally see them at this stage of the game. There's normally like a response to maybe some knobs, maybe some other close combat units. Maybe there's like a focus on sluggers and you want to get a Wraith Lord in there just to be like a front line, like a something to tie up the close combat units.
Incoming enemy.
Whereas the Orks, I imagine, I mean, if I was... I suppose they are going to go for knobs, which is a thing. So, kind of like the Dark Eldar... Well, not Dark Eldar, sorry, the regular old Eldar have teched in a correct direction. But then again, Wraith Lords kind of a bit vulnerable to the tank busters, as, I mean, they've got no stealth detection. So you've got to keep them near other units as well that have self-detection, like the Farseer or Warlocks or the Harlequin. This listening shrine is going to go down. Bonesinger being left to his own devices in the form of being dead. Population full, only one Wraith Lord out at the moment. Going to build up another webway gate. You don't want to be pot-blocked at this stage of the game, especially when you're a million miles away. These guys are going to turn their attention. Looks like they're going to be focusing on this bigger generator. That is maybe not what they want to do. Like I said, the tank busters over yonder are going to basically... I mean, even if the shooter boys weren't here, just automatically the tank buster would win. Big Mac putting some zaps. I do believe it's got an area effect on it, so managing to zap both these Wraith Lords, so very unfortunate for the Eldar player. These guys aren't cheap at all. I mean, how much are they? 100 blue money and 250 green money, which for walkers, it's not super expensive. I just love it. Just pick him up, throw him away like a rag doll. Wraith Lords do have some. I'm looking at it, even just carelessly picking up a knob as well, throwing him away with the same careless, gay abandon. But Jesus, we've got two squads of knobs coming on down.
Yes.
These Guardians are just not in a vibing situation right now. Interesting use of the knobs, using their ranged pistols rather than using their close combat. After all, I mean, close combat units, they kind of have to get a good surround on them. Let's say, for example, if you've got a Wraith Lord and you've got maybe like 5 knobs surrounding them, only those 5 knobs are going to get some melee damage in there. But if they're in ranged combat stance, then all knobs using their pistols are able to get some damage on them. So, useful thing if you're ever going up against a walker and it's not like a Dreadnought, because I think Dreadnoughts have like a wider mass and I think you get more barriers around him. But maybe I'm talking nonsense, maybe what I'm saying is nonchalantly non-existent. Tank busters are still in the mix. Going to focus on these plasma generators, but their accuracy is not amazing, in all honesty. Dark Reapers jumping out of the Falcon Grav tank. Going to be shaving off some Orks from the flanks. Taking down a couple of models, but only 2 sluggers aren't all that impressive. Harlequin right in the middle. She's not knocking many people down at the moment. She can't quite get the angles in there. She will be surrounded and slapped straight down. Sad times for her. Falcon Grav tank seeing all these Orks, not wanting to mess with them. Gonna try and go over here and see if by threatening the tech buildings and the tier 2 listing post with these Wraith Lords. I mean, the Orks could go into the base, which it looks like that they are. But it looked like a bluff. Try and get the Orks into not attacking their base. And actually, it does seem to have worked. But to be honest, this is a lot of Eldar shenanigans, especially for these Wraith Lords and their Bright Lance upgrades, making them effective against building vehicles and aircraft. Although these sneaky grots aren't surrendering anytime soon. I mean, they have lost the morale, but don't want to give up just yet. Gob's called up a big mech in tow. We'll be able to teleport straight on top of these Wraith Lords, and if they stay close together, they can both be zapped. So maybe spreading these guys out might be the way forward. We teleport straight in, throwing the zap. Oh, but they're going to go throwing the zap on the Falcon Grav Tank. Going to prevent these Dark Reapers from retreating for the time being. Tank Busters getting a good volley on these guys, but not quite getting the kill. Dear oh dear, very unfortunate. But then again, abandoning some Wraith Lords, like we say, these knobs are just going to engage at range at the moment. Not doing an impressive amount of damage, but it's something. While over here, a couple of Shooter Boys and Slugger Boys. I do like how Calvin Klein is keeping a couple of just small amounts of Slugger Boy squads in his back pocket just to keep up the constant harassment of unprotected listening posts and the capping and decapping of certain places. Especially since these knobs have got the power claws, which lets them tear up the Wraithburn of these buildings. More Harlequins on the way out. Not sure if Harlequins are the way forward anymore, but then again, it's an extra detection unit, which is something. El Vomito also doing the same with his Guardians, keeping a couple alive just to maneuver them around the battlefield and keep this critical location, which we have seen the critical location has been turned off and on a couple of times. This listening shrine, poor listening shrine, has been taken out and been bothered so many times by now. Not exactly what you want when you're a listening shrine. Eldar caught on the wrong side of this ridge once again.
The time for war.
It's either Calvin Klein has impeccable timing, or the Eldar are just really unfortunate and unlucky. Shooter Boys over here. Oh, sorry, not Shooter Boys, Slugger Boys. Sorry, not Slugger Boys, Tank Busters. Lord of mercy, they all look the same from a distance. Not saying that all Orks look the same, you know what I mean? Don't want to get cancelled for that. 85 and 79, economy to 125 and 53. Got to certainly keeping their blue money on fleek, as what the kids say. Bunch of zappy things going to go on down here. Managing to get all these Wraith Lords. Want to keep these boys spread out. The focus fire on the Harlequin. With them not engaging in close combat, not quite been able to get many jumpy bits, but these Knob Squads being attacked by double Dark Reapers are certainly feeling the punch. I feel like how the Wraith Lord before it has died has been pulled back so it can be repaired, sparing the economy for the Eldar on the south flanks. Harlequin decided to not go into close combat but also play the knobs at their own game and play a game of pistols. Dark Reapers having to be microed backwards as a replacement Falcon Grav Tank is being recruited. Harlequin kind of been forgotten over here though, sadly. Ah, there we go, she's been remembered, she'll now be moved away. Tier 3 going for the Orks. Have we gone for Tier 3 for the Eldar yet? Not entirely sure. Got some warp spiders on the way there. So that is cool. We've been seeing these sluggers, and they will be brown-breaded. So yeah, I think that the Eldar composition at the moment is fine against these knobs. Don't think they'll be winning any engagements anytime soon in a quick manner. With the Wraith Lords, I'm not sure if they're being really effective at the moment with their Bright Lances, especially with the really good use of this big mech. But with the attack and run, hit and run should I say, of these Dark Reapers and the Falcon Grav Tanks, certainly doing a good job. Falcon Grav Tank piecing out, leaving these Dark Reapers behind. But yeah, in a straight up shooting fight, Dark Reapers are going to win. But that's another reason why the Knob Squads are kind of been left into range stance to every time they try and chase after these Dark Reapers, they just get, well, these guys just run away. That makes you think, why not stick with these Storm Boys and then transition into Flash Gates? Or maybe he's getting the knobs out now with the hopes that he can keep the knobs online for long enough to get that knobs/Flash Gates Elite Orc Army Wombo combo. We have a bit of a garage going on here. These Wraith Lords going for their MOT. MOT being, if you're not familiar with how cars work in the UK, every year or so you've got to send your car to the car doctors to have it looked in, having your fluids changed and what. I'll be honest, I don't drive. I've got no idea how cars work. I walk everywhere because it's good for the environment and I'm also poor. Double warp spiders. These will certainly cause a problem for the knobs.
2 minutes until
able to remain in a firing stance for longer than Dark Reapers because they can just kind of just stand there, fire away, and then the moment they get into close combat, teleport away, fire again, and then, well, they've got 2 jumping juices inside them, so double jumping can be really difficult for these knobs to deal with. Oh, well, of course, the war truck would be the idea, wouldn't it? You'd put your knobs in the war truck, and then they would then just chase after the Dark Reapers, going in, out, shaking it all about. Of course, yeah, why wouldn't I think of that? I mean, this is why I never played the game, really. I can't think of it in a cast. Certainly won't be able to think of it mid-game. Okay, the Wraith Lords are moving forward, like we say, being that strong front line for the Eldar. With all their bright lances, making very quick work of these war banners. Taking down 1. Also will sort this listening post out. War truck cruising around the side. Oh dear, the knobs coming out on the wrong side of the war truck. They have managed to zap some of these Wraith Lords. These Warp Spiders just standing firm in the middle. Not trying to keep these guys, flank them away, while these Nob squads are going to do what they can. And, there we go, a fighter bomber. Focusing up, we'd like to see it focus maybe on these Warp Spiders. Farseer still alive, using its Mind War, or Hair Mind War, sorry, on the Nob. Big Mech, sorry. Flash gates coming out now. And yeah, the firebomb I think is a good choice. Low rate of fire. When it fires at people, knocks them on the backside, allowing these knobs to get a little bit closer, and then basically gives them an opportunity to chop them down with their big old axes. Wraith Lords over here being focus fired by the flash gates. But yeah, this firebomber needs to kind of turn their attention over to here. But then again, these Wraith Lords with their bright lances, ideal at sniping down a whatchamacallums, a fighter bomber. All the knobs been taken out, kind of been thrown away. But then again, it does give the Orks spare population cap for the flash gates. So I think that was a tactical suicide of the Nob squad there. Guardians now going to fall back with the rest of the pack. And double flash gates are going to be quite difficult for even Warp Spires to deal with. I mean, these guys could kind of just like teleport in and then engage these guys in close combat, but then I'm not entirely sure if that would be the most ideal thing, especially since these shooter boys are still online and firing around. Falcon Graviton go beyond it, as well as a Wraith Lord. 111 and 35 economy compared to 135 and 75 of the Eldar, so Eldar certainly making big gains in the economic department. But it's not all over for the Orks as of yet. They have now transitioned to a primarily shooty army. As they've lost, they had 2 war trucks, but they've lost the second one. I'm not sure where they lost it. Falcon Grav Tank is not going to stand up too well against these flash gates. Being bombed by the fighter bomber. Pure boys sourcing out these Guardians. Yeah, the firebomb is not going to do much against these guys. Eldar feigning a retreat this way, but now looking like they're going to go back this way as the full fighting force of the Orks are now back on left-hand side. And without their war trucks, these flash gates are going to charge all the way over here, get all hot and bothered, and then when they've got to come back all the way over here, it's going to be a long walk. So you do need those war trucks online ASAP. You're going to see a war track there, and a firebomber just to pester these guys. And yeah, that's a significant area of effect. But actually 2 flight bombers being cheekily popped on the chest, or should I say the forehead of this fallen Titan. So no one, I don't think anyone's actually in range for it, but because of the impressive range of the fighter bomber, it'll be a nice time for it. Yeah, listening post being rebuilt, but being also re-destroyed. Flash gates now join the fray. Those fighter bombers giving everyone a chance to reposition from the Ork perspective. Orks now going to focus fire on one Warp Spider squad. And to be honest, you kind of need all 3 of them to teleport in the same direction, and all of them focus fire on one particular unit. Without that combined fire, not exactly burst units down as quickly as you'd like. You managed to almost kill the shooter boy squad, but my goodness, that is a lot of dead Warp Spiders. Calvin Klein pulling it back. And that's a very expensive loss as well. I mean, those warp spiders are what? It's 60 blue money and 15 green money. But then again, the Eldar do have a good chunk of change left to play with. Also got a Seer Council on the way as well. Also going to go for a Healing Wave Station research, which is not something you normally see, but I'm thinking if this game goes on for a prolonged period of time, it will be a bit of a slugging match where every player's going to save every piece of requisition and power as possible. One really good way of doing that is by using health regen, which the Orc player is doing with his Mad Docs. But yeah, Wraithlord scuttling all the way home, limping with his Bright Lance between his legs. Anything crazy ongoing on the Orc base at the moment? Nothing too bonkers. What's his tech at the moment? 75, so got a bit of population to play with. From the Eldar perspective, just reconvening those warp spiders.
Jobs are good and boss.
Oh, and also getting a Bright Lance platform as well. So if these guys are attached to... They can't attach to warp spiders, because obviously these guys teleport. Could go for these Guardians, but these Guardians are probably still on the capping and decapping stratagem. Again, both players keeping it fresh, keeping it fancy, keeping that capping and decapping all through the game. This Shrine over here will be crashed asunder, but this is a good combination of units for the Eldar at the moment. Lots of maneuverability with the Warp Spiders, a good front line of the Wraithlords, good anti-air for the Bright Lancers if they can get on top of those, what are they called, fighter bombers. Cannon Busters going down quick as you like. And double flash kits. The focus fire on the Seer Council, taking down a good couple of models before they are then engaged into close combat. And now there we go, the triple teleport in. And there we go, they're now able to get that DPS that they so need onto these flash kits. Not pushovers by any stretch of the imagination, but for elite units, they are quite fragile, especially when being harassed and harried in that close combat. Well, the Seer Council do a mean bit of damage in close combat, especially if they're... Oh god, don't tell me that Sith with the double-bladed lightsaber. Darth Maul, I want to say. My knowledge of Star Wars is non-existent. Some people say, what's your favourite Star Wars or Star Trek? Mine is Red Dwarf. Don't at me in the chat, it's clearly the best of all the sci-fi settings. That obviously isn't Warhammer. We have flash kits over here. No hard counter to the Wraithlords, although they'll still do a little bit of damage. But losing their morale, not exactly what they want. But these Wraithlords will fall back while these guys get into a better position. Gonna see some more tank busters. Nothing much in the way of vehicles for the Orks. And to be honest, they can't really go for too much in the way of vehicles because of these Wraithlords and their Bright Lances. Especially these Bright Lance platforms. But these fire bombers aren't really scratching that itch. Not getting that many... I mean, it doesn't do that much in the way of damage, to be honest. But something a little bit more bite. We have a War Boss on the way, so that's something. War Boss able to use his WAR ability, which temporarily just is it's just a big old steroid for any Orcs in the near vicinity. Something's firing at that war truck. What was it? Oh, it was a flanking Wraithlord hack. War truck going to turn its attention to this aspect portal, which is recruiting an avatar. Threatening all that water. Threatening all that... Whatever happened in that film. God, that was a long film. But, like I say, I highly recommend it. Something at least. I mean, if I like a film, it can't be that bad, because I don't like films at all. Triple Warp Spiders looking for their prey. Only one flash gate squad over here. Just quite irresponsible, shall we say. You never separate your flash kits. You normally see these guys doubling up with each other, never separating. And the Eldar will now see that the flash kits, at least one squad, is on his own. Avatar potentially being useful in this game. We will have to see how it goes there. Seer Council having a look at this listing post, going to turn its attention two of the flash gates, but unable to really get that manoeuvrability in there due to the fighter bomber. Double warp spiders not quite teleporting exactly where they wanted. Again, against only one flash gate squad. Not the end of the day for them. Warboss now out. Entering that range stance. And he packs a mean punch at ranged with his custom shooter. Although one lonely squad of warp spiders will move around the side. Fighter bomber can now get up a little bit closer, but very low health at the moment. But I do believe that the closer a fighter bomber is, the quicker its firing recharges. I think it starts when the bomb explodes, but don't quote me on that. Anyway, we've got one killer can on the way. One killer can. Oh, and a big mech down here as well. Armed with his fusion gun. Good against heavy infantry. Mad Doc being taken down by warp spiders. Avatar of Cain punching this voice hut on the corner. Double Dark Reapers fully equipped with all the lads, or at least aiming to be. Dobbs back on the run, engaging these warp spiders who teleport away quick as you like. Killer Can versus the Avatar of Cain. Avatar of Cain does take it down. And really, he doesn't need to stay alive, he just needs to occupy the flash gates for as long as he can. But these Dark Reapers over here, no match for one squad of flash gates and this Killer Can. His warp spiders not really firing at anyone at the moment, just kind of observing from a distance. Gonna get that flanking teleportation on the flash gates are being struck down quite seriously. Avatar Cain goes down on the flash gates. Full strength, full health as well due to the Mad Dog. Will be able to stand up against test time against these warp spiders with the big mech in throw as well. So I do quite like that. The Eldar could have pressed their advantage a little bit, but they decide to fall back. Because, I mean, they've done so much damage to the Ork player at the moment that there's no real need to risk a loss there. Warp spiders teleporting away once again. What's going on over here? Nothing too crazy. I imagine the Avatar is probably going to be... I mean, can he? Oh, they don't have the economy for it. Ah, actually, both players got quite a lot of spare green money, but not a lot of blue money, which indicates that they've had to spend a lot of their economy on reinforcing their squads, which is probably another reason why the Eldar player fell back. If he loses too many and then fails at that push, then he won't be able to reinforce in time for the Ork player. Well, when the Ork player makes his inevitable counter push. Flash gets going to chase these guys around. No more jumping juice left in their warp drives. And that's a full squad wipe right there. Very unfortunate. Mad Dog being caught out of position. But these tank busters, unseen and unheard by these warp spiders, will be bothered by the occasional accurate rocket. Warboss is going to come out to play it once again. Not content with dying. But yeah, this listening shrine is going to go down while the warp spiders over here repay the favour in kind. Warboss says he wants to get stuck in with the boys, but he's actually quite keen on just staying back with the lads.
Don't bother me. I'm working on something.
Got another Seer Council on the way. And yeah, just a battle of attrition. The case of who can gradually grind the other player down the most. If I was the Ork, I mean, from the Ork perspective, sorry, I've swapped to the Eldar perspective then. From the Ork perspective, I mean, he's going to go for big mech shop, so having more vehicles is probably the way forward, as vehicles tend to be cheaper in blue money but more expensive in green money. Again, these Wraith Lords with their Bright Lances, it's going to be real difficult for him to be able to deal with them. Dark Reapers replacing the Warp Spiders. Flash Gates being chased away by... do apologise. Being chased away by the Seer Council. Teleport away as these Wraith Lords move towards the Ork base in unison. Right, Lightlight's platform is kind of just drifting just then.
The boss? Who is getting shot up?
I'm not entirely sure. Is a Brightlands platform remote control? There is like a Soulstone in it. Should know this by now, after nearly a year of casting, but again, my knowledge of lore, non-existent. And you guys always know. You guys always correct me and inform me about any lore stuff. That's your homework for today, boys and girls. What is inside of Brightlands? These flash kits. Keeping their distance away from the Seer Council. A fighter bomber being re-recruited. The second one on the way, as well as a tank buster squad comes in to say hello. Will the Eldar be able to push into your base? They will be able to take down, oh dear, taking down the Big Mech shop just seconds, or milliseconds even, before the second fight bomber came out. Not sure it would have made much of a difference. I think it would have been, I mean, if of course, I mean, the Orks couldn't have done this because they're lacking a bit of blue money. But I wonder if just a whole squadron of tank busters would have been the way. I mean, the Eldar do lack infiltration detection. I mean, there's the Seer Council's down again. They're going to be recruiting another avatar. But it's a whole smorgasbord of tank busters, just to at least alleviate the pressure that these Wraith Lords are bringing up. And keeping them alive all the time, bringing them back and re-repairing them in between every push. Like I say, recycling at its finest. You'll see no global warming on Eldar Craft World. Oh dear, that Bonesinger taking it great into its spiny helmet. The listening shrine will go down 149.43 compared to 62 and 42. This is quite a difficult position for the Orks to be in. They need more and more blue money as the game goes on, but they've got less and less of it. And with all these Wraith Lords currently unchallenged by anything that the Orks have, apart from a couple of tank busters.
Orks is the biggest and the strongest.
Warp Spiders having a little look around. We do have a Nightwing as well. Ideal at countering enemy aircraft. Doesn't have the best burst damage of the anti-aircraft units as far as I'm aware. But it is very nimble. It will certainly out DPS the fighter bomber. Big Mech teleported straight in with a tank buster squad in the flanks and a war boss joining in. One Wraith Lord looks like it will go down. I want to focus on this Bonesinger rate quick. There we go. Half a second and it's dead. Second Wraith Lord going down. The Orks might actually be able to take take offline the nuisance that these Wraith Lords have been. Tank busters turning our attention to the Seer Council, which is probably not where they want to be. And one singular Wraith Lord will run and live to tell the tale. Imagine, will they be replacing them? No, not at the moment. Thought these were mines for a second then, but they're not, they're just dead warp spiders. Seer Council falling back, but the Eldar decapping this relic. Tank buster's going to regain it there.
6 minutes until taking hold.
Avatar of Cain causing some structural damage to the listening post. The Seer Council, they keep on trying to get involved with these flash kits, but always being slaughtered before they're even able to get close by. Avatar of Cain having to think about it, but when seeing all this war and fighting juice going down, no point in trying to beat up the flash kits just yet. Over on the right flank, we do have a couple of warp spiders. Oh, so I want to say, oh yeah, 2 warp spiders and 1 guardian squad. Always a threatening, always looking to see whatever avenues that they can get in. The Orks at the moment playing a bit aggressive considering their current position. Got a second squad of flash kits currently unupgraded in the form of that they've only got 3 models.
5 minutes until taking hold.
Big Mech teleporting back to the clump of Big Mechs. Warboss might be able to hold back this avatar of Kane if he is feeling that way inclined, but he will run away with the lads. He who lives and runs away fights to live another day. Not that more could be impressed with it. Tankbuster being chased around by the Warlocks, or the Seer Council, sorry. Avatar once again thinking about getting involved in close combat, but then shying away. Clearly not as brave as his predecessor. One Gwot squad being annihilated as it was cornered in between the Titan's gun and the Seer Council's blades. Avatar now being focus fired. Warboss looking to see if we can keep these guys away. We're just kind of watching from a distance as the Brightlands platform gets a couple of pot shots in. Tankbusters alone in this world, being taken down. These flash kits will also look like they're not going to survive long in this cruel and dark world. A little bit of back chat in the chat going on there. But emotions are heightened and heated in games like these. Both players played really well, I'd have to say. I was quite impressed with the slightly off, or should I say slightly unusual opening for the Orc players, saving those shooter boys for later and using those sluggers to capture as many strategic, critical and relics as humanly possible. And again, just staying on top of the critical location game throughout the entirety of it was really impressive from both players. But I will say that the Eldar do win and all that jazz, so well done everyone, good stuff. If you want to support the channel, £1 a month does get you one extra game a week on the old Patreon. My name's been Mr. Landshark, pleasure as always, never a chore, and I'll see you in a bit. Peace.